It's Friday, you know what that means. It's time for another Double Feature Friday. And this week I'm talking two kind of heavy rape revenge films. Thriller, A Cruel Picture, and Female Prisoner Scorpion, Beast Stable. All right, so I'm not gonna go be saying that this is a fun Double Feature Friday. I liked both these films quite a bit, but they are both pretty intense and kind of like there's some tough subject matter to get through. But that being said, I think they're both really worthwhile watches. So I'm gonna start with Thriller, A Cruel Picture. So this was a Swedish revenge film that was released in 1973, and it starred Christina Lindberg as Frigga, who's kind of the title character. I guess this movie also, or this film also has an alternate title of They Call Her One Eye. This film starts with the sexual assault of a young child, which they don't show in really, you know, graphic detail or anything. It's more just implied, but the trauma of this sexual assault leaves the main character mute. This film is directed by Bo Arne. I'm probably saying this wrong. Vibenus. He directed it under a pseudonym. I'm not sure, it was Alex something. To me, this film seemed very low budget. It's very minimalist, but it has some real wonderful things about it. There's a lot to like, I think. It also seems like, and I feel like I bring up Quentin Tarantino every time I do one of these lately, but it does feel like without this film, Quentin Tarantino wouldn't exist. Or at least he wouldn't probably be the filmmaker that we have today, because this feels like, actually this film feels influential on a lot of films. I feel like Kill Bill 1 and 2 is heavily influenced by this film. Like I said, it's hard to watch. There's actually a lot of real footage of people having sex, which was kind of shocking and not my favorite part, but I think it does add to the discomfort. It helps you to get into Frigga's headspace a bit, I think, the monotony of it. And then, but so this young girl gets sexually assaulted, and then she's mute. Then one day she's catching the bus to go into town or something. She's waiting at the bus stop, and a man pulls up and offers her a ride. And this man is Tony, played by Heinz Hopf. And Tony is actually a pimp, so he takes her to his place. He kidnaps her, well, takes her on a date, drugs her, kidnaps her, gets her addicted to heroin, and then starts pimping her out, I guess. So yeah. She tries to escape, and he catches her and brings her back. Then she tries to kill the first John that comes to see her, and for that she loses an eye. And then for the rest of the film she's wearing an eye patch. So yeah, you have to sort of endure what she has to go through to a certain extent by watching all these real pornographic scenes that, to be honest, they're not fun. And then she kind of works her way up, so she gets every Sunday off. She gets to make a decent amount of money, and then she starts using her Sundays and her money to start training. So you see a lot of there's a lot of training montages, and it feels like they're very quiet. She learns how to drive a car very fast. She learns how to beat people up. She learns how to shoot guns, and she also learns some sort of martial arts. And then the end of the film, obviously you get the reward of her enacting her revenge. So you do get the satisfaction of watching her enact this revenge. I think the revenge scenes are very well done. I did really like the sequences of the revenge. So she pulls up at people's houses and just blows them away. The squibs that they used in this film were very, I think, low budget, but I really liked how they looked. And then there's this whole slow motion fight sequence that happens near the end. She kind of gets ambushed by these two cops, and they do sort of like the most realistic slow motion fight sequence with these two cops. The lead was fighting, doing her own stunts, because you can see her whole face and body, and this was in the 70s, but I've never really seen a fight sequence that's like that. The music is very electronic. The music or the score in this film was so interesting, and I really enjoyed it. I found it was really cool. And yeah, this slow motion fight sequence, I've never really seen anything like that before either. It felt so real. I felt like the actors did such a wonderful job. Like, I was really amazed by how good it was. So yes, it's not the most fun film to watch. It is tough. It is about rape. There is real sex in it. There's a lot of challenging things, I think, in this film, but I do think it's an important film. I would still give it like a 4 out of 5, because without this film, I think we would have missed out on a lot of other things that were obviously influenced by it. And I think it's like a worthwhile watch, and it's a part of film history that I don't think people talk about that much. I hadn't actually heard of this film before I watched it this week. Now let's talk about female prisoner scorpion, Beast Stable. So this is the third in the series. I have the complete collection that was put out by Arrow. I haven't watched them all, so I still have the fourth one to go, but I have seen the first 3. This one is really good. Again, there's some really challenging subject matter in this film. There's rape, incest rape, forced abortions, non-forced abortions. A woman gets a golf club forced into her by another woman who... So there's a lot of challenging things in this film also. These are, like I said, I'm not gonna be calling this a fun double feature Friday. It is a tough double feature Friday, and if you don't want to watch these 2 films at all, I totally understand. Or if you don't want to watch them together. I mean, I didn't watch them back to back, but I watched them both this week. Beast Stable, this is one that starts with Matsu, so Michael Kaji's character. She's already broken out of prison, and she's kind of like on the run. She gets cornered on the subway by a police officer, investigator guy, and as a result, he loses his arm because she cuts it off. Then she sort of finds solace in this friend, Yuki, and so Yuki is in an incestuous relationship with her brother. Her brother suffered an injury to his head, and as a result has a brain injury, and is very disinhibited. So he, as a way to keep him from raping everyone around him, his sister kind of sacrificed herself, and she just lets him have his way with her. It's pretty dark and depressing, because then she also ends up getting pregnant by him. Yeah, like I said, it's a tough movie to watch. I don't want to give away the whole plot, so I'm trying to just figure out what I can actually talk about without any spoilers. I mean, you know it's going to be a revenge. It is done a bit differently, so actually I think this film has a less satisfying revenge sequence, because it's more of like a mind fuck type of revenge. So Matsu wants to get revenge on the police officer or investigator who tried to capture her, but then also this woman who is a horrible person, and so she wants to get revenge on both of these people. And so she, instead of killing them both, she kind of sets it up that they do the job for her, which is really interesting. But I did find that it didn't give me the satisfaction that I kind of wanted of seeing the revenge being enacted on people. But it was still like, it was kind of a fun ending and, you know, something a bit more original. So this film as well, like, it's a tough subject matter, like I said, but again, there's some really cool stylized scenes. It's worth watching. There is some fun to be had if you can make it through the tough stuff. It also was released in 1973. I don't know if I saw that. Both these movies came out in the same year. Obviously, this one was a Japanese exploitation prison revenge film. The other one was Swedish. And this was directed by Shunya Ito. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Meiko Kaji, still amazing in this film. And she does go back to prison at the end, near the end of the film. So for like the last maybe 20 minutes, half hour, she's back in prison, but under a different identity. So they don't actually realize that she is female prisoner Scorpion, which is kind of funny. The only person who knows is the female crime lord, who is a terrible person, actually surrenders to the police because she doesn't want Matsu to kill her. But then Matsu ends up getting arrested under arson charges, so she only has to serve out 3 months in prison just so she can enact revenge on Katsu, the crime lord. So she's in prison for that short time, and then she gets out again at the end, which is fun, and I'm really excited to see what the fourth movie holds. So the fourth one is Grunge Song. I think I've heard that it's not that good compared to the other three. So far, I've really enjoyed this box set. Like, this collection is so good. If it's still available, if you were on the fence about buying it, I totally recommend it. I mean, I haven't seen the fourth film, but so far 3 out of 3 have been really good. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.